there everyone, today we're going to be learning a little more about CRM forms, and we're going to be diving into the analytics section in the CRM forms and how to connect to Google Analytics and to Google Tag Manager as well. So to do that, we have a form already opened here. Okay, so if we look here on the left side menu, we see these fields, these sections for the CRM form. If we turn on the expert mode, we'll see a bit more. And in these other ones that pop up after hitting that expert mode button, we'll see the analytics section. So this section is going to be important for us today. So I'll go over this just really quickly. So basically in this section, we'll be able to view all the events and targets that Bitrix24 CRM Forms automatically send to Google Analytics when a user interacts with the form. Okay. For example, viewing the form, starting to fill it out, completing the fields, etc. So these actions are tracked as virtual page views, and you'll be able to see those in the Google Analytics reports so that you can measure form performance and conversions, right? And of course, the beauty of it is that no coding is needed because Bitrix already has this by default connected to the Google Analytics. So to actually get that going up and running for your form, there is something that you need to do first. So we'll be going over that today in this video. So the first thing you'll need to do is sign up for Google Analytics if you haven't created an account already. So make sure you go to the Google for Developers. You'll also see the Tag Manager, and we'll go into that further in this video. Okay, so we'll open here Google Analytics. And it'll take us to this website, and we will click on the blue top right button that says Go to Analytics. And then we will hit the Start Measuring button here in the middle. And that'll prompt us to create our account. So we can put in the account name. This can be, for example, your business name. And then you'll have to check these boxes, click Next. Property name. So the property name is usually going to be representing a specific website, a specific application, or a digital asset in general that you want to track with GA4. So here I'm going to go ahead and write, for example, Bitrix24 CRM Form X. Great. And now it'll ask you about your business. Just go ahead and fill that out in the best way for your company. And in the next stage, it'll ask you to type in your business details. So go ahead and select whatever best describes your company. In here, it'll ask you to choose your business objectives. Just go ahead and select as many as you want. I'm just going to go ahead and select generate leads. And then you will click create, and your property and account will be created. Keep in mind, you can have multiple properties in your account. So I'm not going to go ahead and click create here because I already have an actual account where I'm going to be showing you around. But this would prompt you to go to data collection, but don't worry, I'm going to create a brand new property on my real account so that you can see what this will look like and what we have to do here in the data collections section. Okay, so I'm here in my Google Analytics account, and I have created this property. So Bitrix24 CRM Form is specifically Knowledge Base 24, which is my CRM form that I have here on my Bitrix. So in our case, our form is going to be viewed on web, not in a specific Android app or iOS application. So we're going to go ahead and click web, and it'll prompt us to type in a URL. So for this URL, just go back to your CRM form and click on Open Form on the top right, and just copy the link to the form. And this is the link that we're going to paste here in our Google Analytics data stream. Okay, and I've gone ahead and created a stream name very similar to my property name, and I'm going to remove the HTTPS part because we already have it on the left side. So make sure you remove that, or else it's not going to validate your URL. And then we will hit the create and continue button, and that'll give us our data stream. We'll have it here already. And here we have our data stream already. So we're going to click here on the arrow, the right hand arrow, to open it. Don't worry about this message, that's normal if you see that one. We're going to go ahead and copy the measurement ID that we see here. And we're going to go back to our form. I'm just going to go ahead and close this. And we're going to open the form features option and then open the gear wheel that we see here. And then we're going to go to page settings here. And we are going down to the section that is called Analytics. Here we will see a Google Analytics and Google Tag Manager section. I'm going to uncheck this one because we're going to focus on the Google Analytics first, and then we'll talk about the Google Tag Manager. So here you'll notice we have actually two fields, the Universal Analytics field and the Google Analytics 4, the GA4. So basically this is the exact same thing. It just used to be called Universal Analytics and now it's called GA4. And GA4 is actually the newer version. So we're going to go ahead and ignore the Universal Analytics and we're going to stick with the GA4 field. So we're going to paste the ID that we copied over from Google Analytics, the one that we had here as the measurement ID, and we're going to go ahead and paste it right there on the Google Analytics 4 field. And of course, make sure that this is checked, and then just go ahead and click Save. Awesome. So what I've gone ahead and done, I've filled the form out so that you can see what it's going to look like in our Google Analytics. So to see that, we're going to go to the report section. And we should travel to real-time overview. And once I click there, I'll be able to see the overview of the form and the report for that. So I'll see, for example, where my user is located, to see the active users. So in this case, it's just myself because I just activated the form, for reporting. But once we have more users, we'll be able to see exactly how many users have been active in the last 5 minutes and in the last 30 minutes and a little timeline here as well with a graph. And what I want to focus on, because here you're going to be able to see a lot of information. And of course, you can play around with that. You can actually also customize this if I'm not mistaken. Again, we're not Google Analytics experts, but we just want to show you how you can work with Google Analytics to actually get real information from Bitrix itself. So here on the left side, we're going to be able to see the event name, and then on the right side, the event count. So for example, the field completion of phone number, right, of phone is 3 because I went through the CRM form 3 times, right? And again, for the form completion, so it was actually finished, also 3. Etc. So you can see all of that here, and you can see even more by clicking on the right side arrow. So that's all of the information that is being sent automatically by Bitrix, which we saw over in the analytics field. So those events that we see there are the exact same ones as we see here on the Google Analytics events and targets. Again, we didn't have to do any coding. The information is automatically sent there with just putting in the measurement ID into the form features. So super useful, very, very convenient to use this if you're trying to track your users' interactions with your forms. Awesome. So now we're going to talk a little bit more about the Google tags. So we're going to go to the Google Tag Manager here, and we're going to let you know exactly how to create a Google Tag Manager account and how it actually works with the CRM forms. So again, it's not very recommended to use both at the same time. It's either one or the other. You can use both at the same time, but it's probably going to create a little bit of a mess for you. So we're going to go ahead and talk about only the Google Tag Manager now. So Google Tag Manager, again, is a little bit different than Google Analytics, but they do work and they can work together. Basically, adding this extra layer is going to offer certain advantages over the standard GA4 setup. So this is going to let us have more flexible event tracking, easier tag management, and also the ability to modify or add new tracking. Okay, so now let's go ahead and create our Google Tag Manager account. We're going to click here to open it. So once you click on the Google Tag Manager website, it'll actually prompt you to type in your Gmail. And then once you do, then you'll see this screen here, and we're going to go ahead and click create an account. If you don't have a Gmail, you need to create one. You won't be able to access the Tag Manager without a Gmail account. Okay, so we're going to click here on create account. Again, it's going to take us through the account setup. Account name can be your business name if you'd like, or you can choose whatever is best for you. The country, if you want to share data anonymously, and also for the container setup. So the container name should be the website. So we're going to go back to, give me a second, where was I? We're going to go back here to our forms. We're going to click close on this page, and we're going to again copy the link for our CRM form. And here it'll prompt us with this error code. Just make sure you remove the HTTPS and then you'll be good to go. Awesome. And since we're tracking a CRM form from Bitrix, we're going to go ahead and select web. And we'll click create. And that'll prompt us to another window, a pop-up window where you accept the data processing terms and requirements, and then just click yes. I'm not going to do that because again, I already have an account. So I'm going to go and open my already created account. And just to show you, creating a new container on my already existing Google account is very similar to what you have just gone through to actually create your account. And I myself am going to name it like this, just to have a better organization inside of my accounts for the example. And again, I put in here the container name, so the link to the CRM form, and I'm going to select web, create, and these are the terms and data processing that I told you about before. We'll click yes. Once you finish, it'll prompt you with this pop-up window. Please ignore it for now, we don't need it. And please click on preview up here. So clicking preview on the top right corner here, you're going to be able to open the tag assistant. That's going to allow you to test and debug your tag configurations in real time on your CRM form before publishing the actual tags. So then I will see this new window where it's going to prompt me to type in my URL to the site. So in this case, it's our CRM form URL. And just keep in mind, in this case, we are going to keep the first part of the URL here. And we're going to go ahead and click connect. And make sure that this checkbox is actually checked. Now, something that happens usually is that this isn't going to directly work, and it's going to prompt us to actually install the Google Tag Assistant extension. So let's go ahead and see if that happens. Okay, in this case, it didn't happen, but if it does happen to you, just go ahead and install the plugin. I think I already have it installed here. I do. So it's just called Tag Assistant. Just go ahead and download the plugin to your extensions, and that will help you with that issue. If you do see the error code, it usually suggests something like for an improved debugging experience or for untagged pages, install the Tag Assistant browser extension. And the error code usually says could not connect to Bitrix24 site. So if that's the case, again, just install the Tag Assistant. So here it's been successfully connected. So we should travel back to our Tag Assistant tab and just click on continue. Awesome. So here we're going to get this summary. So the Google tag has not been found. So that's actually because we haven't actually made the connection. I wanted to show you that as well. So if we don't input the Google Tag ID into the CRM form as we did with the GA4, it's actually not going to be able to test anything when we set up the Tag Assistant. So for that, let's travel back to our Google Tag Manager. And we're here in our account that we made specifically for the CRM form. And we're going to go ahead and copy this. So we've gone ahead and copied that, and we're going to go to our CRM form once again. I'll close this. And we're going to go to form features, again to that gear wheel, and we're going to scroll down and enter that ID in the Google Tag Manager. Keep in mind that Google Tag Manager IDs are always going to start with GTM versus the Google Analytics always starts with just a G and then a dash and the ID. Awesome. And now we're going to click save. And we're going to try that Tag Assistant one more time. So I'm going to go ahead and close this as well. And we're going to hit the preview button again. We're going to go ahead and paste that URL again. So we're going to go ahead and copy that from here again. And we're going to go ahead and click connect one more time. And now it should be successful. We'll see in just a moment. Great, so once we're back in our tag assistant page, we'll be able to see that the tag is successfully connected. And we'll also be able to see here a small summary with different sections that we can view. For example, I'm right now in the virtual page view, and if I go to variables, I'll be able to see a couple of those variables here. So just making sure that it's connected. When I go to the tags tab, I will not see anything here yet because we need to still create the tags. What we've done here is basically just proved and made sure that the connection was successful, but we actually have to go ahead and create the tag. So we're going to do that now. We can close this for now, and we will go back to the Google Tag Manager section. And here we're going to travel to the tag section. And this is what I was telling you just before. There are no tags in this container, so we have to create a new tag. We're gonna go ahead and click new, and then click the pencil icon. But first, just make a name for it. In this case, we can do, I have already created a name for this. For testing purposes, we'll do this name. And we will click on the pencil icon, and we're gonna choose Google Analytics, and we're going to choose Google Tag. So here we're going to go ahead and go back to Google Analytics to get our tag ID. And we're going to hit on that admin button at the bottom left side of the menu where it says admin. And then we're going to go to data collection and modification, data streams to get that ID. We're going to go ahead and open our data stream and click on measurement ID. We're going to copy that, and we're going to paste it over to our Google tag. And again, we're going to leave the triggering as is, initialization for all pages. Very good. Now we're going to go ahead and click save. And additionally, we're going to create a second tag, and that tag is actually going to let us specifically track a custom event. So something like a form submission or certain field interaction. So in this case, we're going to go down to create a new tag. And this one we're going to name form submission tag. Then we're going to click on the pencil icon once more. Again, we're going to choose Google Analytics, but in this case, we are actually going to choose the GA4 event at the bottom. And again, that's going to ask us for the measurement ID, and we're going to use that same measurement ID that we used for our Google Analytics. And then we're going to create an event name. We're going to go ahead and name it form underscore submission underscore event. So I recommend this same structure for the name because GTM doesn't always accept any name. So you can learn more about this by going up to this question mark, just clicking learn more. But if you want to trust me on it, just go ahead and create a similar name for your event. Very good. Now we're going to go ahead and choose a trigger. First, we're going to have to create it. So as we see here, we don't have the trigger for specifically what we want to do. So we can go ahead and click on that plus icon to create a new trigger. And we can call this trigger the form submission trigger, maybe. Form submission trigger. Beautiful. Then we're going to go ahead and click that pencil icon on the top right once again. And here we'll see a big list of different trigger types. So choose the one that best fits your needs for your company. In this case, we will focus on form submission just for the example. So I'm going to go ahead and click here. And leaving the trigger to fire on all forms is going to ensure that the trigger captures every form submission on the site. Although now we currently have only one form for testing, this is still going to be helpful for a larger website with with multiple forms so that you can later refine the trigger by adding specific conditions to target a particular form. So we're going to go ahead and click save. And now we have that connected to our tag here in the triggers. So once more, we can click save here. And we have both our tags. And if we go to the trigger section, we will also see our trigger here that we've just created. Very good. Now we're gonna go ahead and submit our tags. We're gonna add a version name. In this case, we'll call it form submit configuration version. Very good. And everything else we're gonna leave as is and just click publish. That's gonna give us our summary, version summary. And let's go ahead and close that. We're gonna go back to the workspace, and we're gonna open the tag section again. And we're gonna go ahead and click preview here. We're gonna go here and get the link for our CRM form. Copy that link. And we'll paste it here where it asks us for our website URL, connect. And it's going to open up the CRM form here as well. So now it is started the debugging information. We're gonna go back to our tag assistant, just click continue. And we see here the summary of the container details, the tags, etc. And if we actually go to the tag itself here for the Google Analytics, we will see the scroll and page view events down here. These are the standard GA4 events that fire automatically. So the custom event, like the form submission, is going to appear once a user interacts with the form and the configured trigger is actually activated. So for that, let's go back to where we have our tag assistant's CRM form that it opened before for us. So it should say the CRM form URL and then next to it the GTM debug. So make sure that looks like the one that I'm seeing here. And we're actually just going to submit some information. I'm going to select the country. Everything else is already filled in, and I'm going to go ahead and click send. Okay, so the message has been sent already. And now if we go back to our tag assistant, we're going to actually be able to see that as an event here. As you can see, it's been added next to the scroll and page view events. And we can also see that here on the left side menu. If I click on the form submission event, which is the title of the specific trigger that we wanted to configure, I'll also be able to see that here isolated from the others. And so if we go back to our Google Analytics to actually view all of this information that we've just set up, we can go to reports and let's hit real-time overview. And here we can see the actual analytics of the current user activity. So we can see where our users are in the world here in the map, which is very convenient. But since we already went over Google Analytics, I just want to be a bit more specific. Here in the event count by event name, we're going to be able to see that customized trigger that we had configured before in the Google Tag Manager. So I can see the form submission event that I created here. And again, this doesn't have to be form submission. It can actually be any event, any trigger that you need to configure on the Google Tag Manager that you want to see information for via Google Tags on your CRM forms. But this is how you would be able to view that here on the Google Analytics. So if we go back here to our tag assistant and we switch from the view of the GA4 measurement ID to our GTM container ID here, under the summary, we're going to be able to locate the form submit. So here, form submit, and this is going to show me whether our custom GA4 event tag fired when the form was submitted. And you can also review, trigger conditions here, variables, values, etc. So here, for example, we see that the fire tag was actually successful for form submission. And that's it, my friends. You can, of course, add more tags, add more specific triggers that are needed for your company goals. And we will be happy to help you out if you need any help with any of the connections from CRM Forms to Google Analytics. And we hope you enjoyed this video and you watch way more of our videos, as they are all very, very helpful to understanding Bitrix, to understanding Bitrix integrations, etc.